Hey, welcome back to the channel, everybody. So it is Monday, June 19th, just shy of 11 o'clock. Temperature's about 84 degrees, humidity's 57%, and the day has finally come. I have decided to get into the honey supers today and remove any fully capped frames, place them into the hive butler over there. Just use a bee brush to knock off the bees and harvest some honey. So for those of y'all that have not watched our previous honey harvest videos, I have tried pretty much everything out there, right? So I have tried a fume board in the past with, I don't remember exactly what it's called. I think it's honey robber or honey bee gone or something like that. It smells like cherries. The bees supposedly don't like it, and it drives them down out of the honey supers. However, I have never experienced this before, but I do believe what other beekeepers have shared via social media is you run the risk of contaminating your honey with that scent, that flavor. So I stopped doing that a while ago. Previous years, I've been out here with a blower, battery powered or gas powered, believe it or not. And that works pretty well to drive the bees out of the supers, but it creates an extremely chaotic scenario. And I have finally gone to the simplest way possible, which is using the Hive Butler, one fantastic product, and a bee brush, and simply going into a honey super, pulling the frame out that you want to harvest, brushing the bees off, and then placing it into the Hive Butler. Works extremely well. The bees don't necessarily become too much of a chaotic scene, really. There's always going to be some, but overall things are pretty good. So that's the plan. Just get the smoker lit, get into the supers, figure out which super has some capped frames. It's about a mixed bunch. So I might, I'm just gonna go in order. I was gonna say I might get into hive number 3, which is the only colony with 2 supers on. I might get into them last, but I think I'll just go in order. That hive does have a ton of bees, which is why I was thinking that. And then just kind of go down the line. And the Hive Butler holds 10 frames, so I'm just gonna make a few trips between the bee yard and the house. Once the Hive Butler fills up, and I have a few empty medium boxes, so I'm gonna transfer the frames from the Hive Butler into the medium boxes. I'll show you all that later in the garage. I have a dehumidifier that I put underneath the supers and a box fan that I put on top, and basically just to create some airflow and really reduce any kind of moisture for the next day, and then I'll actually harvest tomorrow. All right, here we go. Getting into number 3. It's one way to start the day. Golly, look at this. Ton of bees. I have a feeling they're going to be packed in here. Right, let's see. Let's get them off the inner cover. Try not to damage too many. Yeah, this hive is, it doesn't get any fuller, really. All right, let's see what we can get into here. If my memory serves me right, the top super is the original super, so I am just looking to pull the best of the best frames, figure out exactly what that looks like. Again, use the bee brush just to knock the bees off. I'll show you a little bit, but it's going to be a lot of repetitive things today, so try not to bore you all to death. All right, so that's a good candidate right there. So let me get the bee brush, which is right here. Actually, let me try smoking them first. And here we go. Just a matter of brushing them, really. one. Let's see what else we got. This next frame looks pretty nice. Yeah. Just a matter of brushing them off. Are you going to get every single bee? No, not really. But surprisingly, it does a good job of getting most of them. All right, that's pretty much all there is to it. I'm just going to go through the rest of the boxes and I'll show you more as I go. But all right, sometimes I should probably listen to my gut feeling. So this is hive number 3. This is the first hive I started with grabbing some honey frames. And as you can see, this is how it's going. All right, here we are at the very end of the yard. This is the last hive that has a super on it. So let's get into this one. See if we can harvest any honey or pull any frames, and let hive number 3 calm down a bit. Got some nice cross comb, that's for sure. Hopefully we can pull a frame or two. Like I said, I'm just trying to take the best of the best frames the bees need. Yeah, that's a wet frame, so they're still bringing in nectar. If they need another few weeks, so be it. Oh yeah, they're still bringing in nectar, that's for sure. That's a nice frame. Maybe. Make a determination on that one later. See what the rest of the box has first. Yeah, that's a nice one. All right, let's get them brushed off. All right, that's a good one. All right, yeah, so that's all I'm doing. Same thing, just down at the opposite side of the yard to give number 3 a chance to calm down. But yeah, I'll show you a few clips from each hive and that'll be it. All right, moving along. Working from the right side of the yard on down now. So we got here. I have a few good candidates. We shall see. Let's see. So they're definitely still bringing in some nectar. That looks pretty nice. From the top, there looked like there were some pretty good candidates, but they're still working these frames, so I'll have to check back later. All right, no candidates from this box right now, but there's still a few weeks to go. All right, down here at hive number 8. Oh yeah. Packed house. Try to control the chaos as much as possible, but it's kind of wishful thinking. All right, let's see. From the top it looks nice, but that was the case with the last hive as well. So let's see if we actually have a few to harvest. Oh yeah. What do you think? I'd say that's a good candidate. Look at that side. Now let me brush them off. Same thing. Looks like we got another candidate on the very next frame. Maybe, maybe not. They're still working it a little bit. Let's take a look now. Yeah. Yeah, they got a little work to do. All right. Well, same thing. I'm just gonna go frame by frame and see what I can get. All right, down here at hive number 7. Let's see if they have anything for us. Outside frame, it's got some nice wet cells, but we're looking for capped honey today. This frame has some weight to it. That side's pretty nice. And might be a candidate, kind of TBD. Let's go through the rest of them and see what they got. One's coming along, actually. Let's see what the other side looks like, because those are dry cells with just some pollen. Same on that side, so that might be a candidate too. Those cells are dry. Got a few wet cells on that side. There we go. That's a nice one. Easiest way to remove bees, go figure, a simple and very inexpensive bee brush. The next one looks pretty nice as well. Let's see. Oh yeah, there we go. Got a few good candidates out of this box. All right, same thing folks, just frame by frame, and whichever ones look decent to harvest, that's what I'll be doing today. All right, no real candidates in this box, but if you can tell or not, like a few other hives, they are still bringing in some nectar, so that's a good thing, because I plan on actually harvesting the honey tomorrow. And then if I can get those frames back in the boxes tomorrow afternoon, there might just be enough time left in the season for the bees to potentially refill any of those frames, which would be pretty cool. That's very wishful thinking, I will say that, but nonetheless, time will tell. All right, that does it for me, folks. So hey, it's just 12:15, finished up with pulling a few frames. Not as many as I thought or hoped, of course, but that's just how things go. So I'm about to head back to the house, move those frames from the Hive Butler into a medium box that has a dehumidifier underneath and a box fan on top. I'll show you all that here in a second. But yeah, I guess it's a numbers game, really. As some of y'all know, if you want to harvest a lot of honey, you got to have a lot of hives. And every hive is different. Every hive has its own personality, its own strengths, its own weaknesses. But that's just how things go in agriculture, apiculture, which is beekeeping. But yeah, pretty good time in the yard. Didn't spend any time inspecting any of the colonies. Didn't get into any of the brood chambers. I plan on feeding them soon, but I would hate to take that much food from them for really no good reason other than just trying to harvest as much as possible. But yeah, one last look at the yard. Hive number 3, out of control. But yeah, overall, pretty good day. I can definitely feel the heat. It's probably close to 90 degrees now. So back to the house, get these last frames moved over, and that's it for today. All right, just a quick look like I was describing earlier. Simple box fan, maybe 20 bucks from Lowe's. Dehumidifier, a few more bucks also from Lowe's. Just blowing some hot air over the supers. Fan facing upward to draw the air through, just in a last-ditch effort to reduce any bit of extra moisture that the bees did not have a chance to get to. All right, folks, so it is the following day. It's Tuesday, June 20th, right at 10 o'clock. Temperature in the garage is about 84 degrees, humidity is around 30%, and this is my setup. So I have the Hive Butler as the uncapping tank. Grabbed a piece of scrap wood, kind of made it fit with a little screw, basically to hold the frames in place, which I'll show you in a second. Got a few supers and a few frames to harvest. Got my uncapping knife here. This tool works to get around the corners wherever the knife can't fit. And we got the Maxent 9-frame extractor. Got my bucket set up with a 400 micron filter just to capture some of the bee parts, but it is this simple. So let's get started, have some fun, and spin some honey. All right, folks, so the next portion of the video is going to be re-adding the frames to the colonies that I took them from yesterday. So it's about noon, 84 degrees, about 68% humidity, and as you can see, the bee greeting party is already out here to meet me. So unlike years in the past where I left the honey supers out in the backyard for any colonies or any bees to rob them out, this year I'm going to do something different because there should be a few more weeks left of the nectar flow, and I am going to re-add the frames to the colonies that I took them from yesterday in hopes that they can capitalize on the remaining time of this year's nectar flow. And if they can repair, well, I know they will repair the frames that I messed up today with the needle roller, they'll repair that in a matter of a day or two. It takes them no time at all. But what I was going to say is hopefully once they get those frames repaired in the next day or two, they capitalize on refilling them with some nectar and curing them. Also, I plan on continuing my bi-weekly inspection, so nothing's going to change there. That'll go all the way through late summer. But by doing so, that also gives me an opportunity to get into the hives, right? And check the rest of the honey supers that had some wet frames that I showed y'all in the beginning part of this video as I was pulling some frames. And hopefully they can cap them, cure that nectar and cap it into honey. And if so, I might stand a chance in having a second harvest. All right, I learned my lesson from yesterday. So today, I'm gonna get into the far right side of the hive or the yard. And what I mean by learning my lesson from yesterday is to get into hive number 3 last, because there is no way I want to deal with them throughout today's entire time. I don't know which frame came from what hive, and truly that does not matter, because all I'm doing is re-adding the frames wherever I can get them. Whew, good Lord. All right, moving along. Show you all this. In the absence of frames, look how the bees just take up that entire cavity. But yeah, let's give them some frames back so they can do their thing. So like I was saying, this is the first time I've done this. I usually harvest some frames and then leave the boxes out in the yard for the bees to pretty much rob out, because we only get one harvest every year. So once I've pulled some honey, that's pretty much it. But I think they have some time left in the year, and like I showed you in the beginning of the video when I was going through the boxes, given how some of the frames look in most of the colonies that have honey supers on, they could cure the remaining frames over the next month, especially that very first hive, which is the very last hive with a honey super on. They have quite a few frames that they look better than they did yesterday, or maybe that's just my mind playing tricks on me, but over the next month, I think they stand a really good chance of completely capping those frames. This one surprised me. I actually pulled, I guess, 5 frames out of this one. That's kind of wild. So the frames that I harvest, I'm gonna put them on the outside. The frames that I didn't pull are towards the center. And the reason for that is because bees usually work from the center out, but that is not exactly the case this year with several hives, as some of the honey boxes, the frames towards the left or the right, were actually the better frames. All right, on to the next one. All right, save the best for last, right? I don't know if you can tell or not, but not exactly looking forward to getting into this one. They are just incredibly strong, which is a good thing, but sometimes the colony can be a little too strong. All right, no real need to visit. It's gonna be quick as possible. All right, that's that. That wasn't too bad. I thought I had to get into the bottom box for some reason. All right, that does it for me, folks. Quick 20 minutes in the yard. So I got the hive butler and some of the tools that I use for extraction. Got that over here so the bees can rob it out. But yeah, it's amazing to see how strong the colonies are and how quickly they fill up the cavities that are created by removing a few frames. So hopefully y'all enjoyed this video. Kind of a full spectrum look from checking the honey supers to pulling a few frames to actually extracting the honey and to putting the frames back in the hives like I said before. So hopefully they maximize the rest of the nectar flow, which should be another 2 to 4 weeks, maybe through mid-July or so. And we'll see what they can do with the frames that I provided them. I don't know if y'all saw that. I don't know if I shared it on video or not, but the very last hive over here with a honey super, third from the last, they have quite a few frames that look really nice. So I'll definitely be keeping an eye on them as the weeks progress. So today's Tuesday. It's the last day off that I have for the holiday weekend. So I have to go back to work tomorrow, which is Wednesday. And then I'll be back in the bees in just a matter of a few days. So far, depending on the weather, I plan on getting into the bees Saturday, but that'll give me another chance to look through the honey boxes and make a determination if they have any more frames I need to pull. I was looking back at last year's video and I actually harvested some honey towards the end of July. Then again, I was just returning from California. Paul Boniface over at Warden's Farm, NC, was looking after some of my hives. We brought them over, I think, early July, and then I gave it a few weeks to spend some time with the family, got into them, and harvested a few pounds towards the end of the month. All right, hey, thanks for watching, everybody. Cole's Farm here in Jacksonville, North Carolina. The weather is here. It is definitely hot. I'm trying to dodge the sun and spend some time in the shade as much as possible. It is a little more humid. Like I said earlier, we had some storms move through last night. So hey, if you're looking for any honey, we have some harvested, obviously. Contact us through Google Maps, Instagram, quite a few ways. Actually, if you go to our Instagram, click the link tree, and that provides a ton of ways to contact us. You can leave a comment on our YouTube videos. You can comment on our Instagram posts. You can DM us through Instagram. Point being, just get a hold of us. We'll make arrangements and get y'all some of our delicious local and raw wildflower honey. All right, everybody. Hopefully you enjoyed the video and see y'all next time.